This is it, episode 569 of No Laugh Track Podcast here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. My name is Justin Severson. I get to host this each and every time, including this week with Kyle Kinane, who last time was here on this podcast. I mean, you've been here multiple times. For some reason, things haven't worked out doing a podcast. Last time we did this, 2013, sir.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was my first time playing this club.
Well, I listened back.
Or
and
no, it might have been
you were
time,
here
but-
with somebody before that.
Yeah, I think I'd been through here
Trying to
a few years
remember.
before.
Yeah.
I forget how long I've been doing this.
Right. I can tell you that I listened back, and in 2013, you were only 4 years out of doing a 9-to-5 job.
I know. I remember that. That's
Think
like-
about that.
Yeah, that's my, you have some BCAD moments in your life.
Sure.
Some saddles that you recognize, and quitting a day job was one. Because I did not. That's still the, gratitude grounding adjustment point of any time I start bitching about comedy. I'm like, hey, man, remember when you did all this other stuff for much less money for a lot more time of your life? Let's be a little bit appreciative right now.
Remember when you had to get up early and then stay up all day and not take a nap later?
Yeah. Or you didn't get a choice of, I think I want to sleep in. No, you don't get to do that. That's what Saturdays and Sundays are for. The only 2 days you get off. Because that's a bad system as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's what we're going to talk about today is the 4-day work week. No.
Fine. I'm all about it. I feel like that was even before I started doing comedy. I remember being like, oh, this is fucked that it's this many days a week, this many hours, plus a commute, plus recuperation time. And so how blasted out you'd be by your 2 days that you get. And Sundays, your mood's ruined because you have to go back to work. I'm like, I think I wanted to be good at comedy. Number one, I love comedy. Number two, to get away from that
Right?
construct. Yeah.
So that just reminded me of how back in high school, I was a decent student, but I would put every bit of that, things I needed to get done.
Yeah.
I would start at 8:00 on a Sunday night.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, it's like I'm already going to be in a crummy mood. Everybody else procrastinated and had fun all weekend.
Yeah.
That's what, people like what was Saturday? I had the formidable years of Saturday Night Live. And I'm like, I was out. I was out
Yeah, same.
living life. I don't know how to watch Saturday Night Live.
I think my plan was normally I'm going to start homework at 7:00, but then Married with Children was on. I was like, well, I'm not. I got to wait till this is over.
Yeah.
And then I'll start.
Yeah, and I'll just go ahead and not get any sleep because who cares? It's Monday, and nobody else will get sleep. And it's school. I was a good student too, but I look back and I'm like, why? Truly, what was the point? Unless you were somebody that had focus of what you wanted to do in life and knew college was I was in the pipeline of you did well in school. You have to go to college, which
Same.
now you realize what a for-profit scam that is unless you're hyper-focused and diligent. And what 18-year-old is
Holy fuck.
hyper-focused and diligent to the tune of, I don't know, is it up to 6 figures a year now?
If
Or at least when you're done with college, it's
If
6
one
figures.
person could have stepped in and said, hey, maybe take a break and don't immediately think you need to go to college.
One person or every other first world nation in the world where it's you're done with primary school. Now here's your gap year where you travel the world and you fuck off and you party, but also you get to learn about how other cultures live, and you might come back with an idea of what you want to do in the world, as opposed to, hey, you know how this summer of after senior year you mowed lawns and now in September it's going to cost you $70,000 just for basic courses.
Yeah.
Because you said you wanted to be an engineer once at Thanksgiving and your dad was like, that's good, I'm proud of you. And now you're going to spend 4 years and tens of thousands of dollars finding out that you want to go into theater.
Do you? We'll move on to something else in just a second here. But I am curious.
No,
do
I love it.
Do you know anyone?
I love this topic.
Okay, good. Do you know anyone that started college as an undecided major that came out and was a success based on their college experience? Because I think that's just a destination to
success is a very
nothing.
subjective
True,
term.
very true. How about undecided to a career based on what they did? I mean, it just. I did that.
What was your?
It was undecided for 2 years. I went up to party and be away from my family.
Yeah.
And to be with my buddies.
Yeah, I did that, and I still lived at home till I was 26.
Yeah. Oh.
And went to college till I was 24. Bachelor's degree.
When did your parents ever start charging you rent?
No.
Never.
Which is wild. I was coddled. I think there's a bit of an empty nest syndrome. My sister left right away. As soon as she could leave, she's like, I'm gone.
Okay.
And not like nothing for anything bad. She just needed to, like, she knew she needed to go off to college. And she went for communications, but then wound up working in film and TV in Chicago. And now she works in film in Los Angeles. So
Hey,
that
there we
was
go.
kind of a, not direct because communications is a very large umbrella, but,
Yeah.
you know, you go to a movie, you like the movie, you tell a friend about it, hey, you're communicating. So I guess, I guess it kind of works. I mean, I went for creative writing, and I met a guy. I did one open mic once in that I read about in a newspaper and saw a guy from that in one of my classes, and he told me about open mic comedy in Chicago. So by rights, college is the reason I'm a stand-up.
That's a stretch.
So it's a stretch. You know what a stretch was? Going to college for 7.5 years. That was a stretch. Go to 3 different colleges for 7.5 years. And no, they didn't charge me rent. I think I was my parents are great. I think they might have viewed me as a bit of a lost cause. Like, yeah, this one's gonna be living here forever. This one's gonna be working around the house.
We're not going to remodel the bedroom just yet.
Yeah, it was a real, like, was it like Saturday Night Fever? Like, I'm going out dancing, ma. Come on, get off my back.
That's right.
Like, I thought I was going to be that kind of, like, I think they figured that much.
High stepping out the door.
Yeah.
Saturday night, baby.
My mom, why are the seats all the way back in the car? Why do you have to ask? Because your son's fucking in this Mercury Sable. I'm sorry, my car's broken. I got to use yours. Do you really not know why the seats are all the way back? Are you fucking kidding me right now?
We fell asleep during the movie. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Look. Let me leave, please.
We fell asleep during the movie. So the last time we were here, like I said, was 2013, and I looked up online how different we are. Like, what was in the news in 2013?
Are you asking me directly?
Well, no, I'm going to give you some, and you can comment on these.
Okay,
All
yeah.
right?
What was popping off?
America's war on drugs entered uncharted territory in 2013, Kyle. Colorado and Washington became the first states to decriminalize recreational use of marijuana.
Okay.
Holy cow, has that changed?
Yeah, I live in Oregon right now where they decriminalized all the drugs, and it didn't work.
Is that the opinion there? Of just yours or everybody?
It's pretty much. I think without I am nary a political expert, but I think the progressives were like, yeah, this should be good. You know, drug that didn't work, but like, oh, we didn't have any plan put in place to help all the people. That now it just became Club Med for any drug you wanted to do. And now they saw that, like, oh, okay, we need to do this different. This needs to be rethought. So, didn't work. But the weed thing's still going. I think it's going to be interesting when the mushrooms are legal.
Yeah, right? I wonder how how will that work? I know a lot of people do that micro dosing, but...
Micro, macro, I do them all.
Macro.
Come on, man.
In 20...
I feel like that laugh was mocking.
No, sir. No.
I think like you were making fun of me with that laugh.
No, that's me looking onto my list here so I can keep my spot on my piece of paper here. No. 2013, Netflix got into original programming with House of Cards starring Kevin Spacey.
Wow.
Things have changed a bit.
Did you watch that show?
Not once.
I think I started and I was like, I don't care. And then
no.
What do they call that kind of TV? Like prestige television or something where everybody's talking about it?
Oh.
I've never seen Game of Thrones.
So you mentioned that when we did this in 2013.
That was on in 2013?
Yes, sir.
Still haven't seen it.
Still haven't seen it.
Still, I'm proud of it like anti-vaxxers are proud. Nope. Oh, look at the end. But the end was bad, and you're sad now. Yeah, not me. Didn't worry about it. Untouched. Pure blood, dude. Pure blood.
Yeah. You're not going to believe the science aspect of Game of Thrones. Fuck that.
It's like, but there's boobs in it. Like, yeah, all right. I have the internet.
Hey, yeah. Exactly. Right in your pocket.
Yeah.
And this is the last one I want to bring up. And this one I fucked up on. You probably did too, I'm guessing. In 2013, the price of Bitcoin topped out at $1,000 per, and now it's like 60,000.
Oh, I had a buddy.
We'd all be millionaires.
I had a buddy who was talking to years before that. It's probably the same answer at that time. That I think he got it for a few bucks each. He knew about it before anybody. Same like everybody has that one guy or knows of the guy.
Right.
And I think he cashed in at about that time.
When it was, oh my god, it's
Yeah.
not going to get better.
Yeah, I think he's like, I got like $30,000 out of it. I
So,
think.
yeah,
But
he
I
was-
mean, fortunately, he's got his head on right. He's like, well, that's what gambling is. You can't think about what might have been.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That will absolutely drive you
People
nuts.
still, I feel like I have not heard about. I feel like the NFTs burnt everybody.
Yes.
And then the cryptocurrency chatter, or at least in the algorithm that I'm being fed, has subsided a
quieted
little bit.
down. Yes.
So I know, obviously, I know it still exists. Do you have some?
I do. And I bought some, like 2 years ago or 3 years ago when everybody else was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And now it just sits there. I don't invest in it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't.
Do you buy stuff with it?
I haven't. I was I was told recently that if I wanted to get one of these machines that steal cable, that if I paid with cryptocurrency, I would get a discount. And I was like, wow, that's some dark web shit right there.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, sure. If it's completely untraceable.
Yeah.
Are you? Is it Tor? Are you that guy? Do you know about the other internets and stuff?
No, no.
You don't know about the dark web?
Just that something like that exists. I don't even. Yeah.
Okay, me too.
No.
Do you ever start to type something in and you get scared and delete it and then start deleting everything?
No, because I worked.
Let's see what this Silk
I
Road's all
did
about.
morning radio for 15 years, where I searched some of the worst things imaginable and the stories that came up, and I just.
That's just fun. When I was opening for Tosh years ago, before even the last interview, I'm like, where do you find this stuff? He's like, I've got a whole room full of people searching the dark web for stuff. Like, they're on all this stuff. Like, oh, I feel like just the thing, like the irreversible damage you could do to yourself by just witnessing some of that stuff. I'm like, I'm happy to be real surface level with my inquiries.
No, yeah, surface level, exactly. And the people that are into that, if they throw one of these weird things out there and I see it,
Yeah.
that's good enough for me. It's good enough.
I
for
don't
me.
even like the fact that if you scroll through Instagram far enough, where you're like, even if you're just like, ooh, this lady's hot, and then you're just scrolling down like, oop, now she's a child. Gross. This is terrible. This is you at prom. Ugh. I'm gonna boil my phone now.
There should be yes. There should be a line. Are you sure you want to proceed?
I don't know. I've moved my thumb that fast, and all of a sudden you're in 8th grade. Oh, what have I done?
Oh my God! It's just prom. No.
Ew, I'm a bad person. I didn't want that.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. So, also in 2013, when I was here, I listened back to it, and I was talking about my girlfriend at the time, who now has been my wife for 9 years as of yesterday.
Well, congratulations.
We
buddy.
spent our anniversary at your show here at Acme.
Well, that's 9 years as a comedy show. I think they celebrate.
I think traditionally it
9
is.
years
yes.
laughter. You bring a gift of laughter.
You did a great job of keeping us together last night. So thank you.
Thanks. Was it teetering beforehand?
You
Might
never,
not see 10.
you never know.
We might not get to paper. Or
My first
whatever.
one didn't make it that far, so this is my second marriage.
Oh, yeah,
so,
round. Well, that's you learn from your mistakes.
Sorry.
I always said I'm not going to anybody's first marriage anymore. I'll go to your second. I'll go to people's second wedding.
Right?
First wedding. This is the expensive one for all of us, and it's not going to take. You go. I wanted this Justice of the Peace, and then you're all going to Dave and Buster's after. This one's gonna be. We're all in our 40s. This one's gonna rule.
Exactly. That party's going to be way better. Everybody gives a shit just a little bit less because you're older.
Well, the speeches are shorter. It's not like this. We've been with. Like, nope. You like her. She likes you. Get it done.
I agree. And mine was like that. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, invitations should have like a little in the fine print. Second one, and we mean it this time. you know?
Yeah. Got through. We worked out the kinks in that first one.
So we're on our way home from the show last night, and my wife is trying to look stuff up about you online. Driving home. I don't know what exactly. Maybe how old you were or something. So she's searching your name. And she's like, how do you spell his last name? And I glance over, and I can see her phone. And it already has a tiny picture of you. It's already autocompleted and has
Alright.
information about you.
Okay.
And she's like, no, this is about some Christian.
Oh, yeah.
Because your middle name.
My middle name is Christian.
And that confused her. And like, this can't be him.
Does
This-
she not have? She born in a cult and not have not heard of middle names before?
I don't know. It was a quick glance. I was like, honey, no, I don't think.
3 names. He must be descended from royalty.
Exactly. So there was a little bit of confusion there. I was like, no.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah. My middle name is Christian.
Christian. Then we got home, and my 18-year-old daughter was like, oh, did you guys have a good night? A good time at the show tonight? I said, yeah, we went and saw Kyle Kinane. You should look him up. He's one of the best. And she goes, oh, is he on TikTok? And I go, yeah, but
Not really.
that's not really his thing.
Man, that hurts. Well, because what's worse is not being on it or being 47 and being active on TikTok.
I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
Being active and being not successful would be worse. Like constantly trying to get something to catch, like just fishing and coming up with a blank hook every time. Like I think, I have management that puts clips out, which that's all I want on there.
Yeah.
That's really all I want. Instagram's the only thing I participate in, and that's yes. Do I think it's the devil and the untangling of society? Sure.
I think your quote is social media is a disease.
That also, I'm sure a lot of I think it is. I know I have a problem with looking at my phone as it is. So I've deleted everything. Anything that has an account with my name on is run by my management, except for my Instagram. It's the only one I participate in.
Okay.
And that's the only one you see me just doing dumb shit on a bicycle or pictures of my cats, because that's my interest. And that's what I want the algorithm to feed back to me. I don't follow comedians. I don't follow politics. It's cats and bikes and guitars, and I've trained it well.
Nice.
And so that one I keep all right. Everything else, I don't know what's going on there. People could be talking shit about me on Facebook. I don't even know, and it's fine.
You don't know? Oh, well, here I have a whole list.
Yeah,
of those.
let's hear about it, man.
We're
Let's
gonna
get
go over. Well, good thing I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you, but you do the mountain biking, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
the
it's-
natural procession from being like a young skateboarder, then you stop skateboarding and go to mountain bikes?
I think it was I was more BMX and
Okay.
skateboarding. I'm not good at any of them.
Okay.
And then I moved to California, and I saw people, because you hike when you're in California. We're going to go for a hike. We're going to hike. And nobody likes it, but everybody does it. And I saw people on mountain bikes. I'm like, that looks cool and prohibitively expensive. And so now that's my that's my Seinfeld garage, is having 8 bicycles.
Oh wow, okay. Do people are there electric mountain bike? Do
You can get motor. I got
e-bike downhill?
I've got an e-bike. Yeah, I keep that one parked down in L.A. because I don't feel like pedaling an hour up a hill in 90-degree weather. So that one stays down there. And the full rundown, at 3 a.m. last night, I just ordered a gravel bike, because that's when you should make large financial purchases, is when you're sleep deprived during a travel day, but you drank some dumb Monster Energy drink before your show, so you're awake at 3 a.m. You're like, you know what I need? This bike, because I don't have that one. You know why I don't have that one? Because I don't do that kind of cycling. But maybe if I bought that kind of bike, I would do that kind of bike riding. So add that to now 9 bikes. 10 bikes. It's hard to remember.
Well, do you think it will surprise you when it shows up at your house? Or will you remember? or
No, this one. I'd been looking at it for a while. This isn't tattoos where I'm like, oh fucking, what happened last night? That's stopping drinking. I remember the shit I buy now.
That's true.
Yeah,
On stage, yeah, you're
yeah.
talking about stopping drinking.
Yeah, we're off the sauce for undisclosed amount of time. I don't know. We're gonna see what happens.
So I
pretty
went out
boring.
with a friend of mine the other night who I just found out he just did a 30-day treatment thing this summer.
Oh, okay.
Had no idea. So he's done drinking. We went out that night, found out he's what they call California sober.
Yeah.
Because he's like, bring the gummies, dude.
Yeah.
So I got home that night. My wife was like, what happened to him? Why now? And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't care. Like, I didn't ask that. I haven't hung out with him a long time. I just wanted to have a good night. Like, I didn't want to get into that, like, bum out conversation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you as somebody who's...
Well, it's also, if you quit, I wish I could shut the fuck up about it. I haven't grown out of that stage yet where no matter what we're doing, if we're hanging out, somebody's like, you want a beer? I can't just be like, no thanks. Like, well, actually, in February, I stopped. Do you understand? I didn't quit, but I didn't think I had a problem. But it was like, I just asked if you wanted a beer. I can get you Diet Coke if you want that. Just shut up. Like, I wish I would stop talking about it, except for the 20 new minutes I got out of it. That part for the stage, sure, but in conversation, boy, nobody cares, Kyle. Nobody gives a shit. Good, congratulations. It wasn't even a big story. I was like, I had a cold for a week, so I didn't drink. I'm like, oh, you didn't drink for a week. When's the last time you did that? So then I didn't drink for 2 weeks, and then it was a month.
Sure.
And I was like, it's sad that I couldn't remember the last time I didn't drink for a month, and then that just stuck. And nothing changed. Nothing got better.
Yeah. Nothing got
It's
changed.
all pretty boring.
I was reading...
Everything's real boring, man.
You talk about some of these things on stage that are supposed to change and maybe haven't. I read a thing about, when you quit drinking, you now have more time to spend on your hobbies or come up with a new hobby.
Yeah.
Does Kyle Kinane have a new hobby since he quit drinking?
Well, in your 40s, I'm sure you know, hangovers just grow exponentially in every factor of a hangover. Just the pain, the tiredness. It's not just like, ooh, boy, I might not be upright until 10:30 this morning if I don't get a cup of coffee. It's like, no, I lost a whole day. And then that night, now I'm depressed. Even though I'm feeling better, I'm sad that I lost a whole day.
Yeah.
And it coincided with the same thing. Like I moved, I bought a house, first house I've ever owned, and there's stuff that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And so laying around hungover in a house with no furniture, while you're also trying to maintain a long distance relationship, like, oh, this is how you get sad real quick. So let's start changing some of this stuff. Because if you're just the only thing you bought was a dumb couch with speakers in it, and that's the only furniture you have in the house, and you're just waking up on that and watching like surround sound TV hungover with an empty home with broken shit, you're like, nah, this isn't going to work.
That's college kid life.
Yeah, and it's that college kid life, except, with the back of a middle-aged man sleeping on a couch with a subwoofer in the speaker. So, you kind of had to get started. So my new hobbies are trying to learn about home repair. I got a couple of cats a couple weeks ago, which makes me very excited.
Okay.
And I got those guys hanging around the house. And more bikes and guitars. I suck at both those things so bad, and I have so many of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I watched your special that was recorded here.
It was last September. It was recorded here.
Yeah, it's very good. Very, very good.
Thank you. I'm
Directed by Bobcat. If people don't know that. Very good stuff. At one point in that, you talk about Halloween in your new neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
And we're about a week off from that.
Well, this is the weekend of Halloween, since Halloween falls on Thursday or Wednesday.
Yeah, next Thursday.
So it's the weekend before.
Yeah.
So this is the throwdown, and I won't be home for Halloween. So this year, I did not have a contingency plan for how I was going to do Halloween. Next year, also, I live by all old people, so I don't know what kind of Halloween you have when it's all elderly people.
I don't know either.
Like I was just applesauce or something. I don't know what it's supposed to give off.
Yeah, pouches.
A lot of soft foods. Some canned peaches. I don't know what they want. But next year, I think I've got Halloween always happens where I think Halloween's the best holiday. It is the best holiday. But then all of a sudden it's like a week out and I didn't plan anything. I didn't plan a costume. And then I see people in costumes. I'm like, next year it's not. I'm going to have a plan.
Same.
And I forget. Traveling, doing comedy, and like, oh shit, Halloween's in 3 days.
Yeah.
But you have a child, so did you get into it for the sake of when you had a child? Does Halloween ramp up because of it?
Yeah. I mean, even like present day, I also, not only do I have an 18-year-old, I also, when I got remarried, then we had a child, so I have a 5-year-old as well.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going through it all
Spanning
over
it, yeah.
all over again. Yes. I don't. That's kind of her department at this point, my wife's department, and all the planning.
Do you throw down on Halloween, though?
I did. And for years and years and years, it was my favorite. And my wife just reminded me the other night, the last time she and I dressed up as adults, went out to a party, to a bar, this big thing. She got so drunk, she threw up multiple times in my car. Yeah. And ever since then, we have not done anything on Halloween. And it didn't even occur to me. And she's like, the last time, she goes, that night I ruined everything. We haven't done anything since then.
Wow, straight up deleted the holiday.
Yeah. I didn't even realize it until the other day when she pointed it out. So I used to love it, and then my wife freaking vomited all over my
One car barf ended Halloween? Come on, huh? It doesn't sound like you were into Halloween that much.
Oh, I mean, there's more.
Everybody got a okay. I was gonna say everybody got a car barf in their past, man.
We went to
In costume. It's like, yo, I'm not even ruining my nice clothes. It's not New Year's.
the gathering we went to. I was told was going to be everybody in costumes, and we
Yeah.
were like 2 of 4 people that were dressed up.
Oh,
So it was also like this wasn't.
but what's more lame than showing up to a Halloween party without a costume? This is stuff I've learned later. Like Halloween, I get excited for Halloween. I'm just excited to see people doing it, even if I don't have a costume myself.
Sure.
If it's a party, this year I waited last minute. I'm going to Santa. The missus just doing a green dress up like a Christmas tree. All right, it's not the most creative, but it's a thing because I could order it online. I didn't have time to construct one. But that and like dancing was a thing where I always thought like, oh, look at people dancing. They look silly. You know what looks silly? The guy sitting by himself, not dancing. That looks foolish. Like nobody dances good. At like a wedding or something, who cares? The moment I realized like, oh, I'm gonna go out with my friends, even like dudes, but we'd go out like this. Now I'm talking mid '90s when '80s nights were a rarity.
Mm-hmm.
Like now it's like, oh man, that music's 30 years old, 40 years old. Like, no, in the late '90s, it was only.
It was hard to find 80s
15
music.
years old.
It was hard to find 80s music in the 90s.
Yeah, but I was 11 and that music meant a lot. So in the late 90s, I'm going to dance to this Aha song by myself. And I would meet more women because like, this guy doesn't give a shit about looking cool. He wants to have fun. And they want to meet somebody that wants to have fun.
Yeah.
So that was like, oh yeah, go dance and celebrate Halloween. Even if you're not dressed up, be excited for people that do.
However, when's the last time you went out dancing now?
Went out dancing?
When's the last time you danced anywhere
I was
around
at
other people?
Bobcat's wedding reception about a month and a half ago. There was dancing, so I was dancing with the missus there.
Look at
she
that.
wants to dance. She wants to dance. She's a wonderful woman. I got to keep her, and she wants to dance. That means I want to dance.
That's true. That's true.
And it's not like, oh, so you're gonna watch her dance by herself out there? Some creeps coming by? I'm the creep. I'm the creep in this situation.
Did you ever? So, that reminds.
And most situations, and other situations.
Do you remember? I remember we'd get the guys. We'd pack. 7 guys would fit into one car because my one friend probably had a car.
Mm-hmm.
Mid '90s, we're going to the 18 and up dance club or whatever.
Yeah.
Putting on our silk shirts.
Oh man, I never had like the night at the Roxbury. I think
We did.
I came close. Our group of friends, we were mostly all like punk rock people and everything, but occasionally the non-punk rock friends, gals, like we want to go to a club. Like, all right, we'll go to a club, and everybody had like a Kramer shirt or a Shiny shirt.
Oh yeah, we would all. What a bunch of dorks. 6, 7 guys in one car, all showing up with the same fucking shirt
all
on.
just like doesn't matter what individual fragrance you put on. It's now just potpourried into dude. It's potpourried into clean adjacent dude. That's what that smell is.
My wife and I are going to Vegas in a couple weeks, and I was like, "Hey, should I bring cologne?" She goes, "What are you talking about?" I go, "Vegas reminds me of cologne. I haven't owned any in 20 years, but
otherwise I just run this Old Spice bar across my Adam's apple a little bit. But maybe I could change it up for Vegas."
Do they still sell Drakkar? I'm gonna get some Drakkar.
You know what? I think I was going for a whiff over at Target or something. I'm like, hey, some of these aren't bad. I don't know why we knock these so much. I think it was the quantity, not the quality. I think dudes would overdo it. They didn't know how far a little bit would go.
Oh, correct.
So cologne, I better go, hose this on.
Right.
Yeah.
For the record, I think I was a polo guy. For the record.
Oh, I think it was some vanilla scent I had.
That was a tree in your car.
Yeah, I was going to say it might have been a Glade plug-in. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It might have been a multi-purpose kind of fragrance.
Like we talked about before we started recording. You can rub it under your pits.
Yeah, man. Whatever works for you. You smell like the forest. I know. I'm so rustic.
Well, thank you. It's waiting for someone to notice.
I'm real outdoorsy.
Boy, let's see. What's the time here? So you're not. Are you still doing the podcast with Shane Torres?
No, that went on indefinite hiatus. I was just talking to somebody today. I got to give him a call and see if we want to bring it back. No accounting for taste. I think it was a good idea. It was just, I get existential about podcasts when it's my podcast because I think about all the podcasts that are out there. No offense, but how many podcasts are just in the ether?
I agree.
And then I kind of just diminish my value in them. Like, who cares? Like, every time I start like, no, this would be a good idea. And I'm just like, who cares? How many of these? Like, it just makes me think of how, like, when you realize there's how many thousands of dead satellites just out there doing nothing. Like, that's how I think about podcasts. There's so many, like, just, I know you think if people are listening, not you, but the collective view of anybody, like, I should start a podcast. Should you? I think there should be a waiting period like guns on all Zoom H6 recorders, podcast equipment. Like, all right, you have the idea, but in a week, let's see if like this is really what you think you should be doing.
Yeah, a lot along those lines. Like a lot of like a new deodorants will come out. We'll stick with that, and they'll give it to like some people to test it.
Yeah, focus groups.
Focus groups. Are podcasts doing focus groups? I don't think so.
I think 99% of podcasts have the audience numbers of just a focus group. I think there's 10 to 15 people listening to any podcast at any time.
On stage last night, you mentioned about how much you like. Was it on stage or was that the old material? My God, now I can't even remember. I've listened to so much about eavesdropping on people.
Oh, last night, yeah.
Yeah, you said that last night on stage.
Yeah, I'm starting to come back around on topics. I realize I saw some old bits. I'm like, oh, you're still talking about how you're gonna die. I'm like, all right. Yeah, eavesdropping. Yeah, love it.
In the club last night. Before the show, I overheard a gentleman. He must have been at the table with his parents, and at one point I heard him he was talking about whatever podcast he's hosting.
Oh, to his parents. It must be going great.
And at one point he goes, Kyle. At one point he goes, "You mean you two aren't even listening?" And at this time, I'm at the little table with my wife, and I'm like listening to them, but trying to like listen to her. Oh my God, this is so good.
My girlfriend and I will share a look when something like with a conversation, like we're out eating somewhere. It wasn't long ago, and she just got quiet, and I was talking to her, and she just was like giving me the no, and then the next to us, and I'm like, oh yeah, and so I just started filling my mouth with food. So it wasn't like we were just listening. So I just filled my mouth with food. Like, oh yeah, this is tight, nice. This is what I want to do.
Yeah, I heard the best parts. It ended up getting more crowded in there, and I couldn't hear anymore. But boy, I heard the best stuff.
My mom does listen to my podcast, and sometimes I'm like, I have to be like, it's not for you. I know you can listen to this. It's like I don't know. I think I'd rather you catch me doing porn than listen to my opinions on a podcast.
So along those lines, I'll say, so this is in the special. I'm 99% sure I'm not confusing this. It's in the special that was recorded here, Dirt Nap. It's out now on YouTube, unfortunately with commercial breaks.
I'm not an advocate for paying more money for shit, but YouTube Premium...
It's probably worth it.
Of all the streaming services that you pay for, that you watch one show on and ditch, how often do you go to YouTube for anything? Let alone entertainment, information?
Every day. I should be paying for that premium.
That's why I'm like, that's why that one is important to me. Because I hate seeing people like, oh, these ads are screwing up everything. Well, you could buy the special for $10.
I agree. It's my own problem.
Or get YouTube like not advocating. Oh, they're all vultures.
Right.
But that's the thing you're going to go to every single day, whether you don't realize it.
Yep.
Oof.
Yep.
That's the service I'd say pay for.
I'm with you.
Anyway.
I'm not, but I should. I certainly should, and I may change it at any point. But so what I was going to bring up is that you talk about in that special about masturbating in the room in your house.
Oh, that's the old house. Yeah.
The old house.
Yeah.
That it comes out that your girlfriend's mother?
Yeah, more or less my mother-in-law passed away in that room.
And my question to you is, doing that joke, with the first time you did that joke, did you say that and then let your girlfriend hear it? Do you tell her and then do it on a stage? How does that work?
I think that once I realized the joke worked, like if it was a joke that I was going to ditch anyway, I'm like, oh, no need to bring this up. No need to ruffle the feathers here.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm like, all right, well, I'm doing this joke, and then I'm like, what's your feelings on it? Because there's been some stuff. She's like, if you mention me or something, you need to tell me first or something. Like, yeah, that's completely fair. And so I asked him, like, how do you feel about this? Well, she was here. She was helping Bobcat assist with the directing the special, so she knows about that joke.
Sure.
And she's like, yeah, it's fine. I don't know if she thought, I don't know if she was thrilled about it, but I think
Not her favorite?
No, not her favorite.
You should cut that into clips and put it everywhere.
Just that one. And it's like, yeah, it's like I know her family and stuff. So I'm like, well, it's not it's my art, man. Sorry, I can't compromise my art for these relationships. But 100% you can.
Would you tell Picasso not to paint?
Who gives a shit about your art? These people that are around you that you care about, it's all you have. But for 30 seconds, strangers love me and they laugh. Like, you could cut that. Somebody's like, cut that joke. I can cut the joke. Although I've talked hella shit about my folks and they haven't said anything. My mom's like, well, it's not true. I'm like, well, it's manipulated so it's entertaining. If you want me to tell the real story, it could be sad and horrifying, and it wouldn't go very well for comedy, would it?
Have they ever had that? Bertie at church was listening to your special.
No, funny. There's a guy that was here last night that worked with my dad that came through. And
no kidding.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm doing anything outlandish. I don't think I'm doing anything.
No, and I don't think you are either.
I'm not doing anything for just shock factor.
Right.
Somebody pointed, I forget who it was like, yeah, you go through these stages as a new comic, you're writing jokes. Like when you first start, you're trying to write jokes and you're recognizing structure of setup and punchline. And then a lot of us get into this era of like shock because you're just focused on the reaction from the audience. So it might not be a good joke, but the audience is more like abhorred that you would say such a thing. Yeah. So you're confusing like, oh my God, like the few laughs for the people going like, wow, he said a super fucked up thing. And right now I think that's the kind of comedy that is most popular, is pretty much kind of like edgelord. Can you believe he said that? And I don't think it has a shelf life beyond the people that do it exceptionally. And so some people then grow out of that and, move towards other things.
Yeah.
But so there was the early days where I was doing jokes. And my folks were very supportive. They come and see me, but I like a joke about peeing on hookers. I'm like, I've never done this at all. Like, what is this? But it just got reactions out of people. So I'm like, it's a good bit. I'm like, no, it's not really.
Your mom wasn't like, it's about time you're sharing that story with people.
I think she could recognize, like, all right, he's going through this. Not that she knew about comedy, but like, all right, you're saying that you're being the shocking guy. You're being the I can't believe he said that guy, because everybody listens to Attell or listens to Stanhope and tries to do that without realizing the decades of life lived behind becoming that. You just say the shocking stuff. And all right.
Yeah. Oh, I completely agree. We should put a bow on this thing.
Did I talk about comedy too much?
On a comedy podcast?
I know, but sometimes.
No, sir.
Did I mention I'm not drinking? I could talk about that.
So you put a cork in the bottle. You had some merch You had a T-shirt last night for sale.
Yeah, here's the fun stuff. Let's talk about merch.
That's how I like to close up the... This is the ending, man.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So for the people that have, I'm trying to make you an extra $1 here. People that have tickets to your sold-out shows, don't forget.
Oh, is this live?
Well, no, but we're gonna put it out today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
All right.
It's gonna help you sell tickets that aren't available.
Maybe that kid's parents will listen to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You guys aren't even listening? Oh, God. What was the podcast about?
Dad, I didn't hear I don't
know. It's about
know.
my fucked up childhood. You guys aren't listening to this? It's the only way I can tell you about it. Maybe I can bait you by listening to it with the podcast, because you won't listen to me directly.
I got it. You guys don't listen to my podcast about my parents don't say I love you? Of course you don't.
Anyway, use this code for 20% off MeUndies.
What I didn't hear is him mention his merch. I don't know if that podcast has merch, but I know you as a comedian.
He's getting there.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
Exactly. What was on the? I didn't see the T-shirt. What was on the T-shirt?
Oh,
you're
it's
selling?
just it was a design for this last. You get agents and managers that are like, well, we got to name this tour. I'm like, and it's not a tour, so I named it. It's not a tour. It's a job, which
Okay.
somebody called pretentious. I'm like, I think it's the opposite of that. It's like, no, I do this. It's not like I took a break from being a TV star to then go do stand up as a novelty for a month and a half. It's like, this is what I do. This is what we've all done. So this idea that people call them tours now, it's just a marketing shill.
Absolutely.
And so
Something to put on a poster.
yeah,
Or a T-shirt.
Or a T-shirt,
Yeah.
which is what I'm selling.
Yeah.
But it's just so I had Barry Blankenship, who's this fantastic artist. He does a lot of music posters for like big bands too. And so he is also intertwined with the comedy world. I had him do his poster, just me sitting on top of an RV that's on blocks.
Okay.
And it just says my name on it.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's just a cool looking shirt. It's not a bit. It's not like a joke shirt. I feel like it's a shirt that if you wore it, it would just look like a cool shirt.
Love it.
Yeah. But I'm selling them.
That was-
$25. I think that's a sensible price for a shirt in this day and age.
I went and saw Jack White the other night.
Oh, yeah?
One of his small venue shows. I was lucky enough to get through and buy tickets. $50 for a Jack White T-shirt.
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go. So half the
How-
price, folks. You could buy 2 Kyle Kinane shirts for the price
How
of one
Indian
Jack White.
Underground. He just came out with a new signature guitar and Fender. I saw somebody made the comment like, oh, priced so only Jack White could afford it.
Right?
Yeah, well, and to just devil's advocate it, maybe if fucking Spotify would kick over, I don't know, another penny per spin, merch wouldn't have to be through the roof. But streaming royalties are dog shit. So your concert tickets. I mean, maybe if Live Nation and all these other companies didn't chew away at ticket prices, merch would have to be bought. Maybe if they also didn't take a cut of merch, which is one of the most laughable things, that venues will take a cut of merch when you sell merch at venues. Not comedy.
Not comedy clubs.
But music venues, which is, I've played music venues like, well, we get 10%. I'm like, well, I'm going to stand in front and sell it then. Or just no.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to tell you to your face, I sold one shirt. Here's $3, keep the change.
There you go. Or then do you get in exchange money from the alcohol
Exactly.
sales?
You would think that would be the tit for tat, but it is a lopsided business. I'll concede that if you're giving me an employee that's going to work the merch table and sell it for me, then yeah, absolutely. I should cover the cost of that employee working.
Sure.
And so I understand the exceptions to that, but man, it is real racket going on in the live business. So just buy tickets to shows. Anybody listen? Whoever, buy tickets to shows, buy the merch. That's the money that goes into people's pockets.
Absolutely.
It's nice that you stream it. It'd be better if you bought the copy of it. I don't do it either. I use Spotify, and I know they're the devil.
Same.
But, well, whatever you do. Hey, that was a fun ending, right? Me bitching about artists' rights.
You got a good knock-knock joke you want to end with? A street joke or anything?
Ooh, I think all mine are pretty played out. But I'm sure you've heard this one though,
Go for it.
where it's like, so like a serial killer and a little boy are walking into the woods at dusk, and the little boy tugs on the serial killer's sleeve. He goes, "Boy, this is scary." The serial killer says, "You're scared. I got to walk back by myself." You've heard that one, right? Yeah, that's like my favorite dark one. That's still like you. It's in your mind, whatever you want to imagine. I didn't have to say the nasty stuff. That's your mind that did it.
That's right. I think yeah.
And the idea of a serial killer being scared after killing somebody, that's hilarious.
It's dark out.
Ooh, that kid was right.
Thanks for the warning. Thank you for doing this.
Thanks for
Especially
having me.
with sold out shows. It's not like we're not selling more tickets. I appreciate you doing this.
Hell yeah, man.
And maybe we can do it again in another 10 years or so.
Yeah, jeez. I'll be so old by then.
Same, buddy.
I know.
Thank you.
Awesome.